Choosing who you marry, well, it's one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. And you want your child to choose well, but of course you can't control their decisions, but you can help guide them toward the right person. My next guest is sharing 10 questions everyone should ask themselves before they say, I do. You can share these questions with your dating kids so they can feel confident in their relationships. And who else but Dr. Matt to help us walk through these questions. Yep. Okay, so they are great for kids who are dating, but you're saying these are good questions for anybody who's even in a long-term relationship.
I think we all ought to go through these and just try to take the place of our partner and see how they'd answer them.
Oh, yeah.
Because why was
that my initial reaction? Oh.
Am I being the partner that they need? And it would just give you some awareness. It doesn't need to end a relationship, and it doesn't even need to end your kids' dating relationships, because not one person can fulfill every one of these needs.
Right.
But it does, these are where we tend to see the problems and the issues that come up later.
Okay, well, let's jump right in. What's your first question?
Are you truly fulfilled in this relationship, or are you just lonely?
Okay. Well,
or just less lonely, I guess. Is the relationship help you feel less lonely, or are you honestly fulfilled? I have a lot of people that they've gotten married a little later in life, and so they feel like they're kind of settling a little bit more into what they're willing to do because they don't want to be lonely. So let's just try to see if we can get more out of the relationship.
More than just feeling lonely.
Yeah.
2, are you able to unapologetically be yourself, or do you feel they need to show up differently to please your partner?
Yeah, a lot of us can only fake it so long. So if you have to do a lot of faking in the relationship just to make it through, you probably won't be able to go 50 years that way. And then when you finally come out as the real you, the real authentic you, and then your partner's like, who is this person? Because this isn't who I married. So we want to learn to be authentic in ourselves with them early. And so if you're not feeling that, then just know we're probably adapting. One of the problems with this right now, about 50 to 60% of people can't safely attach. So because they don't know how to safely attach to somebody, they try to fake or please the attachment, and that doesn't hold water very long.
What does it mean to safely attach?
Safely attach would be just the ability to truly be yourself, to be open, to be the real you, to not have to fear everything that's going to happen. With each other.
That makes sense.
Power.
All right. Number 3.
If someone told you that you were a lot like your partner, would this be a compliment to you? Or would you be like, oh, great. He's crazy. I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. Do you like who your partner is? Is it really a badge of honor to be like them?
To be proud of who you're married to be proud of, to take them into the room and say, this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my partner, right? I think those things, they feel validating for us as well as our partner.
That's right. And if you're in a long-term relationship and you don't feel proud, then you might want to go check your attitude. You might just be looking for a lot of the negative things that aren't so good. So you can change that.
All right, next.
Number 4, do you sincerely like how you feel about yourself after being around your partner for extended periods of time?
When you go on that vacation where there's no kids, there's no distractions, anything like that, that can tell you a lot.
Do you like how you feel about you?
Yeah.
Because you should feel pretty good about yourself if you're with somebody that really loves you fully. That should be a great feeling, right?
That should be a great feeling.
Number 5, are you each other's help me move the body kind of friend? Are you the first person they call to discuss the hardest things in their life and to share the good or the bad news of life?
Yeah.
Are you the one they call? Or do they call mom?
Yeah.
Because if they're calling mom, that's something that's gonna, I promise, impact the relationship long term. If they have the best buddy and they call them for everything, that will be something that you're not in first spot, right? You're not in the prime position.
Can this be a learned behavior, though?
Yes, it's all learned.
Okay.
So it can be unlearned.
Yeah.
And in fact, to create a healthy relationship, there's a lot of stuff we have to unlearn.
Right.
So this might create a really interesting conversation with you and your partner.
In that self-reflection mode, like, I want to be the one cheering you up. I want to be the one cheering you on. Like, call me. Give me the chance.
But that would make my mom so mad.
Well,
and you're like, okay, well.
I mean, then we
marry your mom.
Yeah, then I was going to say, then we have the issue. But I think that's important to know that even if this isn't happening right now, this is a learned and unlearned type of behavior.
That's exactly right.
Okay, number 6.
6, are you in love with who your partner is right now as a whole, or are you in love with their good side, their potential?
I see this being a good one for these long-term relationships.
Yeah. And a lot of us think, no, well, we're all just young. He'll grow up.
Yeah.
Well, I would assume he won't.
Really?
I would assume, because a lot of his behavior isn't growing up. Some of it's just ADHD. And some of it's just anxiety. So I wouldn't assume that these things are just going to change especially if we're not addressing them. And so are you really, and I can't tell you how many people have wanted to just love the potential of their partner. But potential eventually you want to have realized. And so if they're not in the mood to change, and they're not on the process of changing these things, and again, they don't have to change for you to love them. They should change because they want to be better. But if you're not in love with who they are now, then I don't know what you're hoping for. You have to rely fully on the change. Not just who they are now.
Okay. Is there a way to like push? I shouldn't say push. Is there a way to like guide someone into the change? Is there a way to?
Yeah. The rule is always right. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. And a lot of us try to be the teacher before the student's ready. But so I think just opening up the conversation. That there are some things that really concern me, like this, and I love you, and I want to be with you. Let's just work on those as a couple, and let's see.
Okay, 7.
7, do you feel truly empowered to exercise your authentic voice by openly sharing your opinions, expressing your concerns, and equally influencing all the decisions of the relationship? Do you have power in the relationship? Do you have a voice? And does your voice matter? And if you say, I don't feel good about that, do they listen? Or do they just kind of go on anyway? So many of the clients I work with later in life, they haven't found their voice, and you can generally see a difference in power. Power is one of the #1 things couples really struggle with, is where does the power live and who has the most? And in a long-term relationship, it needs to be equally validated power, where we're both listening to each other, we both have a say, we both have a voice. You want a partner that's trying to hear your voice more.
All right, 60 seconds for the last 3. Would you want your child or imagined child to date someone exactly like your partner?
Do you want your child to date someone like your partner?
See, I told you, these feel deep.
I know. 9, are there any of the things that you see in your partner or that you know about your partner that you're afraid to share with your closest friends and family because you don't think they'll be okay with them? So do you have secrets that you're keeping about your partner from your family and friends? And last but not least, are you confident that you can effectively talk through hard issues and come up with solutions that benefit each other equally because you already have a track record of doing so?
This feels like the key right here.
Have you handled the conflict? Because in the end, it's the #1 thing couples struggle with. In the end, it's the #1 thing we got to know and learn how to work on.
And I'm sure we can work on it in your Becoming One program.
It is a great tool. MattTownsend.com. It's just, we give you lots of opportunities, weekly calls, tons of content to learn to become one with people.
So good. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.